Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the PCS Coffee Talk. It's been a little bit. I am just checking really quick to make sure that everything shared where it was supposed to share and that our volume is working. But welcome. It's been a little bit. It's been a while. We've had so much going on, so much happening, and today is officially the kickoff to peak season. And so I thought it was the perfect time to jump back on and kind of be able to share what's been happening, what's going on, and talk about what families need to know about. So let's dive in. First thing, so again, we're peak season. Peak season starts today, kicks off today, and there's going to be so much going on and happening. We expect it to be a much better season than what we saw last year. Now that we are back into this regular DPS cycle with our program, and we don't have any new contract we're trying to put into play. And so hopefully this year goes really well for everybody. There's already been some talks about families that have been packed up this week and issues with inventories. And so I just want to take a minute to discuss about inventories. And so your inventory is your document of what the moving company is taking possession of for your move. So if it's an item that should be listed on the inventory, like your toolbox, your couch, your bed, the biggest post that things in question in the group is talking about tools and scaffolding and shovels and stuff. If it's an item that does not fit into the box and should have its own inventory tag, it should be listed on your inventory. If it is not listed on the inventory, then it does not exist in your shipment. Even if the item shows up and it shows up broken, they're going to deny the claim because it's not listed on your inventory when it should be. So you need to make sure that that inventory is accurate and that you have the warm and fuzzies about it. If you don't, you need to write on the inventory. You need to add things to it to make sure that you have those good warm and fuzzies on it, because once you sign it, that is your agreement that the inventory as it is written is accurate. So if things are missing, you need to make sure that they are there and that they are noted. So that's one of the biggest things that we've seen already as we get into peak season. And just a good reminder, make sure your inventories are accurate. That's your documentation. So make sure it's how you want it to be. Another question that we've been getting is around, your crews show up and they scatter to the four corners of your home. How do you manage that? How do you make it so you can be able to check and see what's going on? And so when crews show up to my house, I will greet them and I will give them a tour to show them what all needs to be packed, so that way they can see kind of what the job is ahead of them. And then I make my request then. I say, hey, can we please start upstairs and start with the kids' rooms? And we can even do the hall closet and their bathroom while we're at it. For me, my kids, if their rooms are available, they're still going to pull stuff out of their rooms to put it into my car pile. And I only have so much room for books and stuffed animals and G.I. Joes and Barbies and all of the things. So I always say, can we please start in my kids' rooms so we can get that packed up so that way they stop adding things to my car pile. Once those get done, we move downstairs, we move into the living room, the dining room, the office. Our home's been generally a open concept, so I can see what is going on there. And then when we need to divide and conquer, usually to the garage, the kitchen, me and my husband will split and divide and conquer and each take a space with being able to manage and oversee it. So that's the biggest things, that when they show up, any requests you have then, ask them about it then. You can't prohibit them from doing their job, but you can ask them, can we start here? Can we do this? For me, I always ask that my kitchen be packed last. I like cooking up until the last minute because I know we're going to have at least 2 weeks of having to probably eat out. And I just want to make sure that we can cook and have some home cooked food up until the last minute as we possibly can. We also have cats that get secluded to my room. We secure them in there during the packing. So I always tell them the cats are there. We have a sign on the door. We have it taped off. And I always say, once we get these other areas packed, then I can move the cats and then you can have access to that room as well. So just make sure that any of those request things, ask at the beginning when they show up. It's a time for you guys to kind of set the tone of, we're a team here. It doesn't have to be our family versus the moving crew. It can be us together versus the problem, and the problem is needing to pack the home. So how can you guys work together to get that done? And so kind of set that tone of, we are a team doing this. Let me see what else I had on my list for today. If you guys got questions, please drop them in the comments. I would love to be able to answer what I can. And then if you guys are moving, I'd love to know where you're moving to, from, Oconus, all of that. The next thing, PCS grievances. We had a great post going yesterday where I asked families to share about their PCS grievances. And it was open to whatever it is. And I have heard that some of the moving industry got a little angry because they thought it was, the open post to bash the moving industry right before peak season. And that is not at all what the post was intended for. It was, kind of like Festivus, but PCS style, right? And so it's just a time where people can get things off their chest, have, let it out. So that way we can hopefully leave that negativity behind and move into peak season having a good move, good experience, good, all of that stuff. And so if you go through and you read the comments there, you'll see not a lot of it is really aimed at the moving industry. And it was a great time to be able to provide some education too. So some of the things aimed at the moving company, somebody complained about having to truck share. Why can I not just have my items on one truck? Why do we have to share? And so it's a great time to be able to educate why truck sharing has to happen when you don't fill up the whole space of the truck. Trucks aren't going to move empty. A lot of complaints were against the housing offices, against finance, against our own transportation offices, just the process in general. So it wasn't all just geared towards the moving industry. And so again, it wasn't the time to just openly bash and, woe is us type of deal, but it was a, hopefully a good time to be able to educate. And that way you guys can also see what some of the issues are and be able to help work through your processes and identify, those pain points and what you can do to make them better for your customers. So I hope, folks kind of go back and take a look at that and read through some of those comments. And then we've got PCS classes. We've got a couple more on the books and scheduled. We're taking a little break here at the beginning of peak season with PCS classes. I have a son graduating next week, and then we have a couple weeks after that. He is headed off to Marine Corps boot camp. So we are going to take a little bit of family time to hang out, relax, take it a little slow. And then we'll get back up into the swing of things in late June. We're going to be heading to the summer. We're trying to get up to JBLM and probably late June, early July. We're going to be at Wright Pat Air Force Base. We're going to go to Scott Air Force Base. We're going to go to Fort Leonard Wood. So we got a couple of things lined up. If you guys want to have a class at your area, please reach out. I'm now starting to work and plan late summer, early fall timeframe. And then also take a look at what I need to push on to next year as well. So if you guys got questions about those, please reach out. That, looking at my list, I think is all that we've got going on for today. So again, it's the start of peak season. We're just, this PCS Coffee Talk is just really quick, down and dirty, all of the things, because we're going to go check in on a move today, and then go check in on some other things, and then try to get through some of my inbox messages as well. So you guys got questions, reach out, support each other. Again, start a peak season. So may all the PCSs this year be good and smooth and easy. And let me drop, I got a couple links I had pre-prepped. Hold on a minute. If my mouse can work for me. There we go. Our sponsor for the month is Veteran PCS. I'm going to drop these into the comments. Veteran PCS, they're a realtor group where you can be able to go and find a vetted realtor group, a real estate agent or a lender to be able to utilize if you are looking into buying a home. So they've got a lot of great resources on their website, so go check them out. And then the other link I'm dropping is for the FMCSA. where for our families that are going and doing a PPM, like a full service PPM, you're hiring a company, go to the FMCSA website, input the company name, and it will pull up and let you know, are they a broker? Are they an authorized household goods mover? Are they a freight mover? Um, what else? Assets that they own, complaints made against them. So if you're hiring a full service moving company, go double check them on the FMCSA website first. So that is that. So again, PCS season, it's going to be busy. Emotions are going to run high. Take a deep breath. Know that we are here to support you. And may this PCS, again, be a great season and something wonderful. Hope y'all have a great day.